Hey sis.
Hey sis.
I wanted to ask you, how do I tune into the Oaze show in collaboration with the Australian Embassy? Easy. It airs every other Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. Hey sis.
Hey sis.
I wanted to ask you, how do I tune into the Oaze show in collaboration with the Australian Embassy? Easy. It airs every other Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. on 104.7 FM. Sis, how do I? Brought to you by Oaze. Hey y'all, what it do?
Beep, beep. Is that my bestie in a Tessie?
It is.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Welcome back. We're back for another Wednesday.
Yes, another Wednesday here on Sis, how do I?
It's still your Oaze girls, by the way.
It's just midweek, come day.
I don't know if we need
With
to
Oaze.
reiterate.
Yes.
But yeah, it's your girls, Howie and TG. And we are back for another Sis, How Do I episode.
This is episode 3.
2.
No, the first one was the introduction.
I know, I'm kidding.
I was like, did you forget?
It's
so,
3.
So this is the third one talking about female entrepreneurs, y'all.
True. In case you guys have never tuned into the Wednesday show, because it happens every other week, we understand.
In case you're confused.
Yeah, we completely understand your confusion. But a while back, we did the introduction show, and basically we are partnering with the Australian Embassy.
Yes.
To create a group of video and radio content, all focusing on women, of course. And it's called Sis, How Do I?
Yes. So this is our third show, so I guess our third week.
Yes.
And basically, we make videos as well as we have radio shows that complement each video.
Yeah.
Last week, we just released our second video about
Girl bosses.
female entrepreneurs.
Yes, it's all about the girl bosses and girl bossing.
And so today's show, we wanted to focus a little bit more about that as well. So just to let you guys know, each video that we put out, the radio version is just going more into depth about that particular topic.
Yes, it's about receiving your feedback, your input, finding out how you received it, what you think about it, what your experiences are with it as well, and so many more other things. So we hope you do stay tuned with us until the end of the show. We're only going to be here for an hour, so it's not going to be that hard.
It's not like our Friday show where we're here for 2 hours. This hour is going to go by very fast.
I snapped. I know you guys can't see it, but I snapped.
So our first show, what we did was about hair.
Yes. So last week, 2 weeks ago, we talked about hair. We talked a little bit about its history and our relationships with it as well. And we also talked about our hair journeys and what we've been through because of our hair. I think it's so important to everybody. And yes, you will get people that'll be like, oh, you ain't got nothing to talk about? You got to talk about your hair?
I think it's for people who, want to downplay it.
Yes.
Because every person...
You're insecure about your hair, aren't you?
Everybody has issues. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what hair type you have. It doesn't matter the length. Everybody can say that they've experienced some sort of trauma.
We're all very sensitive about our hair.
Absolutely. Even the men with y'all beards, I know y'all sensitive about it connecting.
As soon as that hairline starts receding.
It's a hot topic.
All of the sudden, prayers. So this week, we wanted to focus on, for starters, the 3 women girl bosses
that we featured on our video.
Yes, and then we got to sit down and talk to, and there's a lot of conversations that happen behind the scenes that don't necessarily make it into a 10-minute video.
Yes, the video was long, but it just still didn't cover everything that we wanted. It was so much fun to be able to converse with each of the 3 females too.
True, and we got to know them a little bit, talk about their businesses, and I love it. Every single time I am able to be in a room or in the surrounding of another girl boss, it makes me so happy and excited.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. And the reason why we wanted to highlight this particular topic is because, yes, there are so many, women who have, businesses who are well established, but we wanted to focus on those who have startups and maybe
people don't get to see the journey and get to see what's going on in the forefront, and to see the types of businesses that they have, how they've created them, who they became in the process while creating these businesses. And we thought, just if anybody wants to know how it's done, if anybody feels like, people are so successful at it, how are they going about it? I felt like this is a way to sort of showcase that.
Absolutely. And so to talk about the girls, if you guys went and watched the video on Awazi Media on all social media platforms,
go watch it.
The first person we interviewed was Betelem, and she is the creator, CEO of Zoud Design.
Yes.
So she talks about how she noticed that there was a lack of cute, accessible clothes for plus-size women in the city.
I love that.
Right?
Because mostly people are just like, cute clothes for girls or for men or whatever. But she had a focus.
A very specific point of view. And as a plus-size person, I completely understand most cute outfits come in a very small size, and you're just like,
what about me?
I'm never gonna like maternity clothes. Those are my options. Great. Fantastic.
But like when we went to her shop, and before we even did the whole interview, just even chatting with her and just seeing not just only the clothes that she's created, but she even has bags, and they were like dope, like fanny packs.
Like, ooh,
and I'm not a fanny pack person, y'all. Like, I'm just not. But I was like, you know what? She's making me reconsider.
I'm a believer.
And so it was just very interesting to see, how she came up with the various designs. But not only that, one part of the interview that when we were talking that I just really liked was the fact that when we asked her, what are self-doubts?
Yeah, how do you manage feelings of self-doubt?
And the one thing that she said, because we asked, the same questions for each and every single one of our interviewees, she was like, I don't have self-doubt. I'm confident. And I was like, oh, you know what? Thank you. Because there are going to be people who relate to that.
Yes, of course.
And I like the fact that she's like, no, I'm a plus-size girl. I'm creating for plus-size individuals, and I'm confident as hell, and I absolutely love it.
I want to be her when I grow up, for sure. But here's the like perks of listening to the radio show after you watch the video. Betty and I actually went to campus together, so I've known her since campus. I've known her for 5, 6, 7 years now. We weren't exactly super close, but we still ran in the same circles.
Right.
And it's so nice to see where people are now.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can always tell that she had a plan, some people just come off as super confident, and she always dressed really well, and I was always like, ooh, her outfit. Because back in campus, I wasn't really worried about what I wore, you guys.
Not a whole lot of us were.
I was just trying to get through. I was just trying to get through the day. I had a lot going on. But I always thought she was super interesting, and we had, a couple of hangouts, but nothing that close.
Yeah.
But seeing it now and seeing where she is, 4 or 5 years afterwards, it makes me so happy to just be like, we were in the same environments. She was studying civil engineering, I was studying mechanical engineering, and here we are collaborating and working on a thing in just like a completely different sector.
Right.
I'm not in my sector, she's not in her sector, but it's so possible to shift and change who you are. You don't have to stick to whatever it is you spent your education on. You don't have to stick to a field of career where you started. If you don't like it, you can always get out and find other ways to be creative and make a business out of it.
And I think it's so encouraging for people to see, females that they know.
Yes.
In this instance, be like, wow, like she did this, she became successful at this. Like, that's encouraging for me to be able to sort of bring my ideas and my visions to life. So like here, she's somebody that but even we found encouragement in that as well.
Absolutely. And I love it. We love to see it. We do.
We do. Another person that we messaged that we interviewed was Midlu.
Ooh.
She goes by
Hey girl,
Midlu.
hey.
Yes. Melina Abraham, but she goes by Midlu. And y'all know Midlu.
I hope you do.
She's a part of the EBC family, but also, she's become a part of our family in a way as well. And she kicks ass.
There's no other way to put it, where we're so in awe of her consistently.
Like, honestly speaking,
we're fangirls.
We are. And the thing is, like, who she is, like, you know, on camera or on the mic is exactly who she is off of it. And she is literally a master of all trades, basically. Simply putting it. Yes, we love Milu, clearly. But just even talking to her and seeing how... And it was interesting with Milu because all the questions we asked her, because like I said, she's a media person. So it was like, boom, 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 boom. And she's like, okay. And we're like, we're done. She's like, that's it? And we're like, yeah.
Yeah, you already know the drill. It's like, not that hard.
This woman, like, things come very easily for her. But it's also so great to be able to see that she can put on so many different hats.
True. She makes it look easy. I don't think things
she puts a lot of effort.
Yeah, I don't think she necessarily... she definitely puts a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of discipline into everything she does. And I know for anybody that knows Milu, because they see her on stage and have never met her in person or have never held a conversation with her, you might not understand the amount of effort that goes into Milu, just being Milu, the brand.
Being the brand,
yeah.
Yes.
But she's such an effortless person, and she easily inspires anybody that's around them. It's always open, it's always love, it's always encouragement, and that's the type of people that we love having around us, and those are the types of girl bosses that we aspire to be someday, hopefully.
Because we can all win, and she shows that it's possible to be able to win, and we can all win together.
Yes, you win, I win. It's perfectly fine. There's plenty of room at the table for everybody to eat.
Exactly. So her company is Milu Presents. So basically she does a little bit of like hosting. She does, you know, she's also a podcast creator. She's a content creator. She's an influencer.
She's a TV host. She's an artist manager. Many things.
She's so many things. And like we said, she makes it look easy. But one thing that she mentioned is that there's a lot of organizing, there's a lot of structuring, there's a lot of planning. So anybody who makes anything look easy, it's because they've taken the time to sit down and say, how do I structure my day from morning till night? You know, where do I have to be? What time do I have to be there? How do I execute this in this project? What do I wear? Because let's be real, y'all. Just because we're business owners doesn't mean that we can't look cute doing it.
Absolutely. And if you are in the influencer sphere, it matters.
Absolutely.
There's points. There's points that accumulate. So your outfit has to be on point.
On point. So we love the fact that she was able to also be one of the people that we interviewed on this video too.
Always love to her. Shout outs to her. The last person we talked to, there's a lot to unpack there and a lot to talk about, from her products to the fact that she's a social entrepreneur and she focuses on things that relate to women. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to Hands with Care and what she does. I kind of love her a little bit. I don't know if she's listening to this, but hi.
So her name is Hanan Ahmed.
Yeah.
And I love the wordplay with the name of her company, Hands with Care. I was like, oh my God, this is so smart. But basically, you know, like TG said, she creates reusable sanitary pads. So not just only pads, but underwear and even like the little pocket thingy that you can throw away, like not throw away,
hold on to until you can.
It's like your laundry. It's like your little laundry like pocket bag thingy, and it's so cute how she has everything figured out. And so I was just like, this is wonderful. Just wonderful.
And if you guys remember, we actually talked about it a while back. We talked about the CNN Hero of the Year creating something similar.
Yes.
And being recognized as a Hero of the Year because she took the time to be like, okay, girls don't just need sanitary pads, which, if you guys remember, until very, very recently in this country used to be taxed as a luxury item.
I think until last year.
Until
last year, bro.
And I didn't know. Okay,
so a majority of us did not.
Here is just the personification of privilege, as far as I'm concerned.
In our country, in fact.
Yeah, for us, for people that didn't know it was taxed as a luxury item, that's privilege.
For sure.
Not like compared to men, but compared to women, our peers, other women in this country, I consider that an absolute privilege to not have to worry about how much it costs you to buy sanitary pads every month.
It's so crazy because, like, I've lived here and I've also lived in the States, and pads, tampons, all of that are so cheap.
They're everywhere too.
They're everywhere for free, especially like bathrooms. Like, you can just go and take one and it's free. And to come here and it's like, even if you're doing well for yourself, to have to pay that much money per month, you're like, why? And even when I used to, be an instructor, my female students, a lot of them would not come consistently every single time at the same time of the month because of having to deal with that. And so obviously speaking, we're so glad that we're able to focus and shed a light on this particular individual who's doing something that's profound in our society.
Absolutely. And it leads us to that same exact conversation that we absolutely have to have, where you have no idea how many women can't afford to purchase like throwaway sanitary pads every single month. And the problem with it, one, a lot of kids miss school because of it.
Yeah.
Because the younger you are, you don't exactly know how to manage it, what time of the month it's going to come.
But
you're not
even
prepared.
Sometimes when you get older too, because of that inability, again, to purchase those items, you sometimes might have certain, slips, and you're just like, oh my God, I stained my clothes.
You're embarrassed, you're at work, you're at school, wherever you are. And I don't think people understand how much it affects people's lives. And I don't think women discuss with other women how much it affects people's lives. Until campus, I was very, how do I say this, uncomfortable with having that conversation.
Yeah.
So my high school would have sanitary pads at the office.
Okay.
And if you accidentally happen to not expect the day and you got your period in the middle of class, you could excuse yourself from class, go to the office, and be like, I need a sanitary pad, please.
That's
and
good.
if you had cramps, there was a room that you could lie down in, take a little bit of time. You know what I mean? In my high school,
this is so much like how I grew up.
So my high school was an Italian school, it was a private school, and it was expensive. So it's not like
I was gonna say,
no, I did not go to a public school.
Yeah.
This is another privilege that I've lived through. But even for that, I was mortified of telling people I had my period because I didn't grow up with sisters. I had my mom and me. And my mom would be like, you need pads? And then give it to me and then be done with it. That's the most we had. That's the most of a conversation we had about it. So my friends were all very shy about it. And, when you're younger, it hasn't happened enough times for you to be more comfortable having that conversation. And so when I got to campus and everybody was a lot more vocal about cramps, about things like that, it took me a while to get used to.
I think, it's not a thing. I don't think it matters where in the world you are.
True.
It hasn't come to a place in which it's completely normal to talk about it. There's still, I don't know why, a bit of shame. And people shame you, especially if you are comfortable enough to be like, yeah, I'm on my period, this and this and that.
Just men exit the room.
Yes. I think now we're starting to try to normalize the conversation, but that's definitely not been the case. And I'm so glad that we're changing that. And like we said, this is something that's important to me and TG.
Yeah, get used to turning on the radio and hearing about periods. What? Fight me.
Before I used to have a code word.
Yeah?
Like, I never said period because
it's
like
auntie
I said, that shame.
Auntie Flo and
it's the shame that has been imposed on us. I'd be like, I'm riding my bike. like menstrual cycle, I'm riding my bicycle. Yeah, man.
Jesus, that's so just say Auntie Flo's here, like.
But even with like guys that I'm dating, they're like, baby, you riding that bike? So that's I was
one
ashamed
more thing I learned
again.
About how we.
Oh my God.
I do want to say the reason I got over the shame of having this conversation is because back in campus, I had a lot of friends that went to all-girls schools.
Okay.
So they did not give a damn. You could tell it's the environment that they were in. All throughout, like, kindergarten, high school, middle school, it was just girls in their classrooms.
So that's different.
So they are so comfortable with it. And you're just like, damn. I'm kind of jealous.
I get that.
Like, y'all are all women, so y'all have gotten very comfortable about being a woman.
Imagine if that continues to like grow on, where people in friend groups, like in families, or where we just naturally and just in that sort of way talk about things, not just only periods, but anything, and normalize these conversations so people are like, oh, I can talk about this without shame.
Absolutely. And so, the reason that we featured Hands with Care was, one, affording throwaway ones is great. Sometimes when you run a little short or you don't want to repurchase, if you keep reusing the same one, the chances of infection are very high.
And that's the thing, I think there's not a lot of conversations, involving the knowledge.
That can make you sick.
And information behind that. People just think, well, I don't really have a choice. I got to use this again. What's the harm? But there's so much harm.
I saw, I wish I could remember. You think people are at NASA? I saw this today. You think people in NASA are very smart? A scientist asked this one astronaut if 100 sanitary pads would be enough for 7 days. She was going to space for 7 days. And he was like, is 100 sanitary pads enough? I'm like,
is this to be funny or is this to literally
no, like a genuine question so that they can pack these things.
How many people were in?
I don't know.
Okay, so that also matters too. How many people there were?
just for her. She's going for 7 days.
And what?
I'm like,
okay, now that's just
how often do you think women get? First of all,
that's just being a fool.
And I'm like, y'all are scientists.
I'm done with y'all. I'm done with y'all.
And so these are the exact conversations of, I swear to God, I don't know how many men know or understand these things. Like in a relationship, one of my very, very, very big red flags is if I say, please go get me a pad, please go buy me one, and if I see a little bit of hesitation from you, I consider that a red flag.
You know, it's so crazy. One of my first initial boyfriends knew my cycle so well. So he'd be like, it's coming. And I'm like, I don't even know if it's coming. Like, what? Like, how do you know? And so, like, I think it's important that we normalize these conversations with our family, with our friends, with each other, because it's a natural part of life.
Yeah. And so the more we normalize it, the more we can work on making sure that they are affordable, sanitary options for women to be able to use. Same way you would talk about a napkin.
Even with a mask. There's so many times that you would use a mask without, buying a new one or without washing it. You know what I mean? So in that same instance, like think about the same thing that you would use with a pad. But like we said, it's just all about information. And, Hanan just, creating Hands with Care, we felt like was just pushing that even further. And we're just so incredibly happy that we were able to showcase all three of these women in our first half. I say our first half of Girl Boss.
Absolutely. Let's go for a track.
Yes, ma'am.
And we will come back and talk about, one, the most important thing that we learned from this as emerging female entrepreneurs. And we'll tell you a little bit about our next episode.
Very excited, guys. Don't move a muscle. We'll be back after a musical break. Let's get it.
Hey sis.
Hey sis.
I wanted to ask you, how do I tune into the Oaze show in collaboration with the Australian Embassy? Easy. It airs every other Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. Hey sis.
Hey sis.
I wanted to ask you, how do I tune into the Oaze show in collaboration with the Australian Embassy? Easy. It airs every other Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. on 104.7 FM. Sis, how do I? Brought to you by Oaze.
Yo, welcome back to Sis How Do I here on ABC 104.7 with myself, Howie, as well as my girl TG.
Hey, it gets worse when the mics are off, just so you know. The conversations just deteriorate.
We're literally laughing until we go right back on air.
Pretty much. But welcome back. Hope you guys are having a fantastic afternoon. We're halfway through the week, so hang in there.
This is, I don't know if you know this, but Wednesday is one of my favorite days of the week, Wednesdays and Friday.
Why?
I don't know. It's always been a thing. I never liked Thursday because I felt like it got in the way of Friday.
I love Thursday. Thursday.
Really?
I mean, I think the previous show I used to host kind of contributed to me.
That's why.
Thursday used to be my favorite day.
Thursday.
Now I like Saturdays.
As a kid, I felt like it got in the way of Friday. I'm like, get out of the way. But Wednesday was somehow a day that I enjoyed. So I'm glad that this show happens to fall on a Wednesday.
That's nice. I like that. I like the thought of that. But we're almost there. We're almost at the weekends. Just hold on. We're going home.
Cue Drake. Just hold on. We're going home. No, but we were talking about girl bosses.
Yes.
And how we created a video depicting 3 different female entrepreneurs that we really like and we've grown to, respect. And oh my goodness, we talked about Betty,
Miru and Hanan.
And Hanan. Yeah. And so, like we said, this is the first half of our female entrepreneurs.
There's part 2.
There is.
And it's bigger and it's more diverse.
I love it.
Because we're trying to show women in different fields of
exactly.
work. It's not... being put into a box is absolutely terrible. And feeling like especially when you're in a male-dominated fields, male-dominated industries, it can be a little intimidating as a woman. But we're trying to show as many different types of women who own businesses as we possibly can. So yes, we're definitely coming back with a part 2. So as almost a 1-year anniversary on us becoming female entrepreneurs.
So for those of you who don't know, we started Awaze Show literally New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
January 1st.
Yes, so it's New Year's Day, but we became official entrepreneurs a few months after that.
Yeah, like 5 months ago, more or less.
Yes, and so it's crazy how within these, the span of 5 months, how much we've been able to accomplish, how much we've grown individually as well as collectively together, me and TG. How has the past 5 months been for you in terms of this entrepreneur journey?
I've learned quite a few things, I'll be honest, and that's just in 5 months. We're in this for the long haul, so I can't even imagine what type of person I'm gonna be in like a couple years. But when people talk about their futures, what they want for themselves, what they hope for, I necessarily don't have a lot of just fantasies of what my future will be, but I have this one specific image.
Which is what?
It's nothing very specific. It's not, I will accomplish this by this age. I will do this by this age. My dream is just an image of me looking like a boss woman. Like in my head, what a boss woman looks like. Pantsuit and all. A lot older, some gray hairs and everything like that, but well put together, very busy, working. And I didn't know it, but my life has been preparing me to become a boss.
Okay.
I don't know how else to put it, in the sense that I'm extremely independent to like an irritating level where I don't ask for help. And I feel like that character has definitely helped in being like, our own thing. Let's just do that instead of whatever else it was we were going to do. Let's create our own thing where we have in our controls the images we can put out, where we can control, the things we talk about, where we can control the direction that we move in, the impacts we make, the conversations that matter to us. And that is an incredible power, I feel like, to be able to have. And this episode is nothing on any woman who does not want to be a girl boss. First of all, not saying all women have to do their own thing and have to be bosses and have to have a job and have to, hold it down. But the biggest lesson I've learned in the past 5 months is being responsible for more than just myself. Like, if I mess up, I have a whole team of people that work with me that I'm taking down with, you know what I mean? It's okay to like half-ass things when the only responsibility you have is you, and the only one that could benefit or get hurt from you succeeding is you. But once you have, for example, a business or even a family or things like that where you are in charge, it's an immense amount of responsibility of being like, okay, I gotta get my stuff together. There's no off days. Whenever the job requires me, I have to be there and I have to do this thing. I have to make it work. I have to plan. I have to be consistent. And so, yeah, I've been lazy. I've been lazy as hell for the past 2 years. But now, with the amount of pressure and responsibility I feel, it has definitely changed who I am as a person. And it makes me want to do better. It makes me want to be more, what's the word? Just there, present, I guess. Well, how has it been for you? What has being a girl boss done for you? Personally, business-wise, how has your life changed?
First of all, I never thought that I was going to be an entrepreneur.
No?
No, I didn't. I don't think I just... How do I say this? It's something that happened, but I knew for me that I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to make and be an agent of change. I was like, I want to do something that matters. I want to do something that means something. I want to live a life of purpose. And it kind of just felt like prior to this, I was sort of like going along with the flow and, you know, just going with whatever plans just happened to take place at the moment. But it didn't feel as if I had something concrete. And it didn't feel as if I was living the kind of life that I wanted. So in turn, when I felt like, you know, making and doing what I'm doing now, when it became more impactful, it sort of just took on the route of being an entrepreneur and being in charge of, like, you know, the content that we put out there and just the kind of things that we highlight and the people that we work with. And even what we're doing right now is also sort of like a new thing in itself, because there's not something like this happening within, you know, our country's context too. So it kind of just felt like, okay, we're trailblazing the way. And like I said, sometimes when you kind of just want to create solutions to problems and when you just want to be an agent of change, you don't realize, okay, this is bigger than me.
It's a huge responsibility.
Absolutely. And I don't think I really sat down to ponder about how much the gravity of this is. I kind of was just like, you know what, we're doing great work and yay. And so I just been work and just in the process I've been healing myself. So all around, this has just been a huge year for me because, like I said, I've been doing the self-work. I have been, you know, becoming an entrepreneur. I've just, you know, been focusing on so many aspects of my life that it kind of feels like a full circle moment for me. Absolutely. It's a really beautiful thing when, you know, a rose finally blooms into, you know, what it's supposed to be. First, you look at it in seed form and you're just like, okay. And then finally, when it becomes what and who it is, you're like, oh, so this is the entire process that I had to go to become what it is. And I feel like that is sort of who I'm becoming now. And so it's a beautiful thing for us to both be entrepreneurs. Together, I feel like we're creating something that's meaningful too.
Yes, I hope so. I hope it does create the impact that we intend it to. The whole reason for creating the Girl Boss series was to not only talk about all the different ways that you can succeed, it was also to kind of nudge in there the idea of financial stability, financial independence, of not having to work for anybody, but having your own income that relies entirely on you is such an important thing for women to talk about, where financial stability holds a lot of women back from achieving a lot of their dreams. It keeps them in situations way longer than they need to be because they rely on somebody else to provide for them. And it doesn't have to be a big scale, fancy smancy business.
It can literally, I think the great thing about having various different women with various different businesses is that people can look at these videos and see a piece of themselves in these women and be like, oh, she's more or less like me. And so I think the issue is that we feel like there's this huge gap between you know, having an idea and then executing it as an entrepreneur. And we just wanted to showcase that that's not the case.
Absolutely. And the one thing I will give it to our country is there are a lot of ways in which women can get funding and can be put in groups and be appreciated and be given opportunities to start businesses. There's a lot of ways in which our government can back women businesses up and say, we want you to succeed, we want you to compete, we want you to be in the market and do things.
For sure.
There's a lot of ways in which you can enrich yourself as well. So it really doesn't matter the financial statuses you're starting from. It doesn't matter where in the country you are. It doesn't matter your educational background. If you genuinely have a dream and an idea and just the work ethic to get up and get it done, you can take it one day at a time. You don't even have to quit your day job. I was watching this beauty care line this woman created in her kitchen that is now being featured on Beyonce's website.
Oh, wow.
Have you noticed that one? And this woman started it in her kitchen. So there are so many opportunities and ways and things in which women can get up and decide to become financially independent, to create other job opportunities for other people. Because I feel like a huge feminine trait is discipline, is being able to work consistently for a very long amount of time. And how much effort and work are you putting in for somebody else that you could do for you?
That's absolutely true. And I love the fact that, like we said, we've showcased so many different women. For me, the reason why I found it encouraging, because maybe like a little over a year ago, I saw so many different women, creating so many different types of businesses. And I'm like, man, that's so cool that they are able to do that. But I just didn't feel like I could get to that place.
Yeah.
You feel like there's so many, just hurdles and so many challenges and hardships. And you're like, man, I can never get there. But I still work a 9 to 5.
Yes.
And now I'm an entrepreneur. So there is no one way. And we just really wanted to highlight that. And that's something that even Milu was saying.
Yeah.
People want to make you feel like there is just one way and one road to success, and that is not the truth at all.
It couldn't be further from the truth.
Exactly. There's so many different ways, and I think that once we start to understand that each of our journeys are unique, different but absolutely unique, that there is not one road to success, then I think that to get to that place is easier. We just need to have these conversations. I feel like need to share the journey with each other. We need to stop keeping it to ourselves and feeling like, well, I have to hold on to it. You know what I mean? No, other people can succeed. Even if you choose to share your stories, you can still win, and others can win too.
Absolutely. We need to support each other, uplift each other, and for whoever wants to take a dip into this boss woman vibes, you are so welcome to the club. It's not even funny. So take it one day at a time. Start with planning, thinking of ways, ideas, how anything you need will require in the future to start your business.
One thing I encourage, though, is, and this is something that I didn't really do a whole lot, but I've been doing it this year, is not just only visualizing and imagining what you want, but writing it down.
Yes.
I've been doing a lot of journaling. That's something that I shied away from in the past. I've been doing so much journaling about what I want and who I am, even before those things existing.
Yeah.
There's a power in the written word. So for those of you who are like, well, I'm not there yet, write it down. I think simply writing it down and putting it on a piece of paper, there's a power in manifesting that.
Absolutely.
So we're so excited, y'all, that we are able to give you the first part of Girl Boss.
Yes, and we are almost out of time and about to head off for the next episode, however.
Yes, the next episode is going to happen next Wednesday.
Yes.
So we said
A week from today.
exactly every Wednesday you're gonna get something, whether it's our radio show here with Sis How Do I, or one of our videos that we post on our social media on Owaze Media. You're gonna find something. So please make sure to not just tune in on EBC 104.7 every other Wednesday, but also to follow us on all of our social media at Owaze Media.
Absolutely. And it's a bit of a tough topic we're doing for the following week. The following video is something that we've talked about previously on our Owaze shows as well. Bit of a tough topic, but definitely one that needs to be had. So make sure to tune in, watch the video, and we will be back to talk about it and discuss and tell each other stories and cry if we need to, and and work it out and get past it and feel at least a little bit of relief and feel a little better.
Absolutely. So we're not going to let you guys know what the topic is, because every single week we leave it with a bit of mystery, but we're so excited for it to come out. So like we said, make sure to check us out on all our social media at Awaze Media. That's AWAZE MEDIA.
Yes, sir. Shout outs to the Australian Embassy, the small grant program that is allowing us to create this project and bring it to you for the next 4 months. Almost done with the first month.
See, she does the accent so very well.
I slipped into that seamlessly. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, we love you. We'll miss you. We'll see you guys like literally the day after tomorrow.
Yes, because we do have our Awaze show that we do every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. here on ABC 104.7. So as usual, we're going to be signing out.
Yes, sir. Stay hydrated and make good decisions.
Awaze out.
Peace.
Hey sis.
Hey, sis.
I wanted to ask you, how do I tune into the Oaze show in collaboration with the Australian Embassy? Easy. It airs every other Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. Hey sis.
Hey, sis.
I wanted to ask you, how do I tune into the Oaze show in collaboration with the Australian Embassy? Easy. It airs every other Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. on 104.7 FM. Sis, how do I? Brought to you by Awaze.